What's good? Welcome to First Stream Podcast. As you can see, we are jam packed today. We have everybody in the building. We got our guy Ben Strober right here from the Junkies, and we have Quentin Carr Q back from Detroit to pretty much rub it in that Detroit did whatever they wanted to do to us. We have a great show for you today. Ben's
Pause.
going to get us Ben is going to get us taken care of with our Wizards. We're going to recap our Detroit game. We're going to look forward to some sangria in our Miami game. Al has a foursome, and he has something he wants to talk about when it comes to the naming rights of the new RFK. So I hope y'all are ready. We got a jam-packed show. Y'all know what time it is. Let's go.
It's wartime, baby. This what you signed up for. This what we worked hard for. You for. Y'all the first string. Y'all gotta go set the tone now. Hey, let's go. Lace 'em up. It's the first string podcast show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the first string podcast show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Cause it's time for the first string podcast show. Hey, let's go. Lace 'em up. It's the first string podcast show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the first string podcast show. Imagine talking sports, having fun with the fam. At a starting lineup, first string is what you have. An entertaining stream with the Pro Bowl cast. When the viewers chime in, they gon' answer what you ask. Representing for the Queens, yeah, we got Lady A. A super knowledgeable woman who can break down any play. Said from the South, so he read GA. The Falcons, the Bulldogs, the whole Peach State. Drunk Uncle Al, only way you can describe him. Every time he crack the mic, you know he gon' be wildin'. Last but not least, it's my man Toothpick. Commanders is a squad and he the captain of the ship. So if you feel the vibe, go ahead and tune in. Like, subscribe, recommend to a friend. Nah, for real, like, subscribe, and recommend this to a friend. Hey, let's go. Cause it's time for the first string podcast show.
Welcome back to First String Podcast. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to First String Podcast. Hit the bell to enable alerts for new content just like this. But the most important part, though, is that you tell a friend to tell a friend about First String Podcast. That's how we grow. That's why we continue the show. Let's say what's up to everybody on the panel. Hello, Lady A. How are you?
Hello. I'm good.
You're good. Okay, Fed. How you doing today, man?
Hey, what's up, my bro? A little tired, but I'm here.
A happy Veterans Day to you.
Same.
To the both of you.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you,
Thank you
thank
for your
you.
service.
For sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
I tell everybody it was always fun. It was just me being a part of another team. Al, how was your day?
Man, well rested. Man, holiday for most, and I guess like I said, man, kids were home, so romper room everywhere. I'm good to go, man. So no complaints here.
All right.
Good to see you all. Glad you all were. Hope for you all celebrated and rested, and I see my girl Shady up there, and saying hello to her. And I see we got my man Q back after that. After that whooping he brung down from Detroit to y'all, it was a good week for me. I mean, like I said, only thing the way it could have got better if last night would have ended in a Phillies loss after that ridiculous call by Sirianni at the end of the game. But we'll talk about all that stuff later. But
Yeah.
good week.
Okay. See, that was just supposed to be how you doing, and Al.
When do I do that? When do I do that?
He's the shady one.
Exactly. Exactly. Ben, I heard you this morning working. Talked to you this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. All my teams just keep on losing, so it makes it a lot worse. But I'm happy to be on with you guys.
Appreciate you for sure.
Wow.
We have Q back as well.
How y'all doing?
So listen,
You're good.
let's jump right into this, okay? So we'll just dive head first into this, okay? Detroit comes down, and the first thing that I noticed was this: the lower bowl was blue. Have Commanders fans checked out already?
Yeah.
I'm just I'm just going to ask that question of everybody. Has the Commanders fans checked out already? Let's start with you, Ben.
They checked out. I don't think they're necessarily checked out. Maybe for the season in a way. I don't think people are ready necessarily to give up on what's being built here. Obviously, this is a big blip in the road right now. The injuries have completely derailed what the organization tried to do this past year. But you can look internally and start to feel maybe a little bit of doubt from within the fan base, and maybe a reflection of that was shown from the crowd because you've been non-competitive in 3 straight games entering that one. No team has been this bad consistently. Now the Commanders are the first team to lose by 3 scores or more in 4 straight games since I think 2002 or 2001. Like, this doesn't happen in the NFL. You shouldn't even be losing games this bad. Even the teams that win only 2 to 3 games per year they show somewhat a resemblance of competitiveness. This team hasn't shown that, and I think a lot of people were worried that Sunday would look how it did, and they were probably right for not showing up to the game because the product has been absolutely terrible. So there's definitely a fair assessment to be said that people were checked out for that one because they were afraid what the result was going to be and what it ended up being.
Yeah, might as well make some money, get a little bit of your season ticket money back. Okay, Q. What? I mean, how did it
I
feel
think
to
that
see
this
all
is
that
what
play?
happens. Well, first, I got to ask you, Pick. You got to be careful what you ask for. I remember you asking me what was the matter with Gibbs and why he hadn't been in the end zone for the last few weeks, and he answered the question for you early and often. It seemed like in
Yeah.
that game.
He-
I think that this is a prime example of what happens when the 9th-ranked offense meets a 22nd ranked rushing. The 9th-ranked rushing offense meets a 22nd ranked rushing defense. They had over 200 yards on the game, 226 rushing yards on the game. 2 rushing touchdowns by Gibbs on the ground, 1 through the air. And it was a really well-rounded game for Goff, who got the ball out. There was, and let me make sure I got this number right, 5 different Detroit Lions receivers that had more than 4 catches in that game. So he spread the ball around. Goff was 25 for 33 for 320 yards and 3 more touchdowns. He's having a great season. He has what I would say, has put him in possibly the top 5 quarterbacks in the league this year. I know that's debatable, and there would be, but with injuries and, Goff's having a great year, and this Detroit Lions team looks like I predicted last week. I think they're going to make a run these next few weeks and separate themselves from the pack in the NFC North.
Yeah, that one blip being the Minnesota Vikings, but you guys did another shot at them as well. So, and things are going Detroit's way as of right now. So, listen, Al, I know you're ready to go, but let's get Sid in here. Sid, um, you and I talked, and you said this game was non-competitive. You checked out pretty early, but were you surprised to see all that blue in that stadium as well?
No. Wasn't surprised. Once the quarterback went down, who was the main feature. Very similar to Michael Vick when he was in Atlanta. When Michael Vick didn't play, people checked out. The team that was coming in to play, all their people showed up at the game. People were selling tickets. I watch people right now sell tickets to fill Atlanta for a similar reason. The thing is, once the quarterback went down, who was the star attraction? I expected the offense to struggle. But the way this defense is struggling under Dan Quinn, it's more than just surprising. Well, it's not surprising. I tell you that it's not surprising to me. He was coaching in Atlanta, so
he's
we've
just now
seen
taking
some of
over
the
the play
same things that
calling.
happen in Atlanta that's happening in Washington right now. So that's happening. Then at the same time, you got the Detroit head coach thinking that he's the next coming for being offensive coordinator against a defense that has people hurt left and right and just struggling. Oh, I just thought we needed a different voice. No, you're going to get whipped next week when he gets to start calling plays again because he thinks he's all that in a bag of chips. No, until he learns how to kick a field goal, they're going to lose because he's still doing the same thing he did last year. I told you the year they was in the playoffs, him not kicking that field goal set this team back, and it has, and it hasn't changed. But it still does the same thing over again. Just so happened they got to tune up against a team that has pieces on the defensive side that's hurt everywhere. That's what they ran into. It's the same team who just lost at home to a playoff team coming off a bye. So the only difference is they played a team that's hurt.
I got you. All right. Al, you still waiting? Lady A, can you take
Sure.
that logo down and let's hear your take on this one.
So let me say this. Those who watch the show know I do not like the Detroit Lions. It's very clear.
Shout out to Oli Pop.
It's very clear. It said you don't have to act shocked. It's out there. Okay, it's out there. Now, let me tell you guys. Number one, my concern about this is this entire season. I knew that there were going to be several teams, Detroit included, that were going to be on a revenge tour. They did not want to just beat us. They wanted to destroy us.
To humiliate you.
Exactly. That we knew this because we embarrassed a few teams last year with our rookie standout quarterback. That's embarrassing. So it's not a surprise to me that Detroit came in ready. What my issue is that our team has not been ready. They weren't ready in OTAs. They weren't ready in training camp. They weren't ready in the preseason, and they're still not ready now. So that's a problem that I'm having. I've made many statements about our defense. Our defense, I just don't know what happened because the coaching staff supposedly was going to remain the same and they were going to do things to improve this season. And we saw the opposite. I've seen movements on defense that changes from last season that are hurting the team, not helping. There are certain players that if you know that their strong point is in one area of the field, keep them there. Don't move them around. Don't shuffle them up. And then once you see that it's not working, if you do have to shuffle them, put them back. I don't understand what the problem is. Our coordinator moved to the field and it got worse. So, I mean, what can you say? So in the past, our past regime, I was calling for heads. Okay. Just know that I'm calling for heads now. Some changes need to be made. And if people cannot adjust, they can leave. You guys know they call me HR for a reason. I've been in the HR capacity for a long time. If someone is not performing, especially when you're getting paid all the money in the world, you say, I need this tool. We give you that tool, right? I need this. I need that. I need to do this. The problem is you. So that's where I am with it. I'm not happy with the performance. I'm not happy with the team that we lost to. I've always said I don't believe the hype for Detroit. They beat us as they should have because we are playing like trash.
Okay, listen. So there have been some changes. We'll get into that next go around here. Okay, man. Let's make this soliloquy about maybe 2 minutes.
Only 2 minutes.
You don't even need a minute.
Uncle Al, let's go, Uncle Al.
Can you all please stop it now?
Stop what?
2000. This looks very familiar. This shouldn't look any different to you all. He was just here in 2023. Other than the anomaly that was last year, this looks like the normal Commander, Washington football team, Washington Redskins that we've come to see and expect. A poor performing team. I'm sorry you don't have your quarterback, but I told you all this is what was going to happen. This is, and said told you all what this is going to happen. This is Dan Quinn's track record. Very early success, very afterwards mediocrity to poor. And whether it's injury, whether it's coaching staff, or you want to keep this fabulous coaching staff together. But guess what? Coaches don't play football. They just call the plays. And the players that you all have been putting on the field, that you have acknowledged all season since the preseason, Lady A, were lacked effort, lacked depth, And outside of Jayton, which I told you all, he can't do it all the time. And once the defensive coordinators who get paid to stop him have a year of film on him, you would expect a different year. I preached that all last year to you all when you all wanted to tell me he was a top 5 quarterback. I said, give it time. He's progressing the proper way. Just give it time. Let's let the people who get paid to stop him show that they can stop him. And now, unfortunately, he's showing an injury history that's stopping himself. So would you play? He's not in 26 games? 26 games, how many has he played, Pick? How many has he played, Pick?
Go ahead.
He's missed
Nah, I don't
over
wanna- I
a
don't wanna
quarter
cut into your
of those
time.
games. That's
I don't
called
wanna cut into your
injury.
time,
Okay, I mean, it's for everybody else but Jayton. He has an injury issue. Okay, but let's leave that alone. I'm just tired of you all acting surprised that you all are selling tickets. Man, more people have been to the Fed Up Stadium, Northwest Stadium, soon to be Donald J. Trump Stadium, than the normal fans who pay season tickets there. But this year, you were surprised that you saw more blue than you did maroon and yellow. I told you, I don't call them burgundy and gold. Gold is for champions. Y'all are trash. I'm tired of hearing this garbage that you're surprised that people sold their tickets. Get out of here. They've been selling those tickets. Outside of last year, they've been selling their tickets, man.
That's
Stop
okay,
this
Al.
nonsense.
That's all your time, Al.
Stop it.
I was about to mute him.
That's all of Al's time. Okay, listen.
Oops.
So listen.
Y'all set him up for that. You guys were overmatched in this game. Mariota had an excellent game. Was 16 and 22 for 213 and 2 touchdowns.
No turnovers.
Yeah,
It's the defense. It's very clear.
Let's be real, because I've listened to everybody here give their points of views and things of that nature, right? But let's be real. The offense can't do what it needs to do because it's not running at full capacity. You have no threats on the outside. The defense has no one to set an edge, and we came in with one of our 2 starting corners, who I'm not going to say was having a great season, but he was hurting, and we lost our second corner. So out of our starting secondary right now, we only have Quan Martin that's back there from the start of the season. Right? We have no speed on the second level of defense except for Jordan McGee when they decided to put him in the game. So let's be real. Let's be really real about this, okay? Washington, as a lot of you pointed out earlier, was oldest football team in the league, and they were slow. And right now, we don't have an infusion of young players due to poor drafting in the future, and some people might say now that hasn't helped the team at all. So when you're playing a team like Detroit, and I'm gonna be honest, I started JMO this weekend because I knew he was going to get busy in our secondary. I knew he was going to do what he needed to do, and they turned to him in the third quarter. So let's just say it like this. This game for us as Washington Commanders fans, we wanted to see the younger players. We wanted to see what they were going to do, how they were going to contribute. There's no way we're competing with them. There's no way we're competing with Detroit this year. So that's just it. Let's ask this question now. And this question goes to you, Ben. It's the Wizards. I want to compare here real quick. And this question is just for Ben. The Wizards are in search of younger talent. They have a bunch of, they're pretty much one of the youngest teams in NBA. They're searching for their core. And with this comparison, I want to ask you this. Do you see any core players on the Commanders right now to build around besides Jaden?
No, and I think the biggest problem is you don't have any blue chip talent on the defensive side of the football right now. If you look at this defense top to bottom, I really couldn't say anyone definitively will be a player that's going to create long-term impact here in DC. Javon Kinlaw gets brought in on a 3-year deal. He's been pretty good, but at times a little bit inconsistent. Don't know much about him. Deron Payne hasn't lived up to the contract that he signed a couple years ago, and he got himself ejected from this game, ultimately punching Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's suspended for the game in Spain. Mikey Sainristil, a guy that we became so high on last year because he played so well after he moved to the outside. You had Noah I come inside at that point in the season. Sainristil's regressed big time. I'm not sure if it's a defensive issue with the coaching staff, obviously. I want to put it this way with the whole thing about Dan Quinn taking over the defensive play calling for this team and Joe Witt Jr., all the flack he gets from the fan base, I completely get it. Like, the defense has been so unbelievably bad. Maybe the worst defense I've seen in my life. I'm not an X's and O's, guys. I'm not going to preach that I know exactly, what they're trying to do out there, how exactly it needs to be executed, but I know bad defense when I see it. And when I watch the game on Sunday, I just think to myself, what the hell are they even trying to accomplish defensively in this game? Because you're playing zone at times, and other times you're playing in man coverage, but you're not covering anybody. They're giving everybody free release off the line. Jamison Williams runs to the middle of the field every time, and he's never picked up. And that's pretty much the way it was the entire game. Yeah, like, you don't have any type of presence to set the edge right now ever since Dietrich Wise went down, which was a much bigger injury than probably people even had realized at the time because he went out in week 2 on Thursday Night Football. But I don't even know what they tried to accomplish defensively. I couldn't give you an answer what the plan was to try to stop Detroit, and there's a reason they didn't do it a single time. Remember last year we had 3 separate occasions where we didn't punt the ball the whole game? Now we never even forced the team to punt. So yeah, you're not going to have any type of success when that's how you go. They're lacking blue chip talent. Adam Peters said he wanted to build this team through the draft, and I know he had to supplement last year, go out and get Marshawn Lattimore because you couldn't go into a playoff run with the way Benjamin St. Juste was playing, so I'm not going to fault him on that. I'll say the trade didn't work out in the long term because Lattimore hasn't been very good, and then he ends up tearing his ACL. But they've been unsuccessful in terms of finding the talent they need to sustain long-term here in the draft. And it's a little bit early to make proclamations that, like, Sainer still won't get back to the level he played at in his rookie year, or Johnny Newton might eventually flash for this team. But the early returns don't look great right now. And now you don't have a lot of draft picks to work with going forward in the future. It's going to be an uphill battle for them to build this roster up at this point.
Yeah. Let me say this. Just because you find the quarterback does not mean that you are set all of a sudden, ready, set, go. Sometimes you find the quarterback and you still find yourself drafting early the following year because you still need to put talent around that quarterback. Let's switch to the offensive side of the ball. And Al, I'm coming to you with this one right here. So, and I know, Al, I know you're the most objective person on this podcast. So I'm gonna really need you to put your objective eyes on this. Like,
Sure.
how would you build around Jaden Daniels?
Okay. I think this is what I've been asking you, and I'm being very subjective to, honestly. This is what I've been saying to you all the years. What is your identity on offense? You don't have one. And now part of that has been because of injury. I will say that because it's hard to build an inconsistent injury, but injury is part of football. So I can't let you keep getting away with saying what you don't have because everybody deals with injuries, but it's the talent that comes behind them. But like I kept telling you all off season, I was one of the guys that said you all should have went and got Tyreek Hill to pair with because if you're going to go with Terry McLaurin, and maybe he wouldn't have got hurt like he did there because he'd been here, and that would have put Terry back on the field and forced. But I don't know. But you need to have an identity. You telling me Jaden can throw it deep, and you have to keep Jaden from running and keep him upright and keep him healthy. Well, you got to give him something to throw to. And you got rid of your main, you got rid of your dog and running back. I understood that. But then you tell me you have a running back by committee, but you don't use the committee. I'm confused by exactly what the identity of this team is. And I understand you want to build through the draft, but then you cut all your young players and bring in old people. It does not make sense. What they're saying to us and what they're doing isn't making sense. And that's the problem I keep having with you all. I do not understand what the identity of which of your team is on offense or defense, because what they're saying is not what they're doing on the field. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know what style. I couldn't even tell you what style of offense you're running. Because like I said, the last few weeks that Jaden's been on the field, it's been almost him tucking and running because he has no one to throw to. And they're not putting an offense that is a quick throw. Give me some screens. Give me something to get the ball out my quarterback's hand so he's not sitting back there being a pinata. And that's what Jaden's been being back there, running and forced to be a pinata, and he's been getting plucked and hit all throughout the game, which is why he's not playing right now.
I got you. Thank you, Al, for your objectivity. So I want to make sure that I got this right, Lady A. Al said Jaden needs weapons around him. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's what he said. Okay, so Q and said this is for you two in this order. Q first, and then said, "All right, so you are the defensive guy on the other side of the ball. Who on Washington's offense scares you?"
Well, nobody at this time. So I I always look for a bright spot. You know, I'm a Dolphins fan. I always have to look for a bright spot. So let's start there. You know what I'm saying? This is how I get through every week, anyways. You know, I've never been more upset about a win in my life. But Traylon Burks had a great game. 3 catches and 58 yards. There's nobody on this team that scares anybody right now. But we're building for the future. We're looking for pieces when everyone comes back healthy. And I think that he did a good job of trying to fill a void for the Commanders this week. So going forward, I think, you know, when you're in these bleak types of times as a team, you look for things that can be beneficial moving forward. And I think when you do have your wide receivers back healthy, when you have your quarterback back healthy, and you're able to put a big wide receiver like Traylon Burks in the slot or outside, along with Zach Ertz, you know, there's gonna, and we'll see if Zach Ertz is back next year. I think he's on is he on the last year of his contract this year?
Yeah, he is.
That correct?
He is. Yeah,
He's all reliable though, you know, and I forgot to bring him up last week when we were discussing how the Commanders were going to lose. But no, you guys don't have anybody that scares anybody right now, and it's not even really a fair question to ask when you're as beat up as you are. But the positives out of this game, the game plan obviously isn't horrible, or Mariota wouldn't have been 16 for 22 and had the success that he did. Traylon Burks had a couple of nice grabs. And, you know, if I was, and I know this isn't the way the NFL is played, but you kind of tuck your tails and try to get through this season and get the best draft pick you can next year. Just like you said, you are already missing some draft picks. Don't have as much draft capital as you wish that you had. So, you know, losing a couple extra games in the season could be beneficial for the Commanders going forward, as well as maybe sitting Jaden Daniels for the season. I mean, what is the point of bringing him back to continue to run for his life and not have anybody to run to throw to?
Yes.
I'm sorry. There is for me, and say we're coming to you next, but for me personally, I don't think that you get better by playing without playing football. There are still things. He's only a second year. He's still only a second year player, but there are defenses that he still hasn't seen. He still needs to work through things of that nature. Now, I'm not trying to get him hurt, but what I am trying to do is maybe go quick game with him, like Al said. Maybe go quick game with him. Come up with something. Show him how to turn his back to defenses with the play action pass. Something, bootlegs, get it out of your hand. There's got to be something that you have to start building now for the future, so that he understands how he needs to play. You don't have the weapons right now, right? Come on, say it now. That question, that defensive question, goes back to you. Who's on the offense that and we know the answer to this, but we'll want to get your take on it anyway.
Well, you know, part of this is on you guys, because one of the things I said to you guys early on, they was talking about releasing this guy. You was like, I don't want no 40-year-old wide receiver, Cooper Kupp. When I told you Cooper Kupp was being released, he would be a great addition, a possession receiver for your quarterback. What is y'all? Y'all jumped all over. Nah, we don't want no Cooper Kupp. We don't want no Cooper Kupp. Guess what? Y'all can use Cooper Kupp right now. You got a certified slot mechanic out there that would have taken the edge off of him getting rid of the ball. It's not only just that, the weakness to this defense is the tight end. Dan Quinn has not adjusted his scheme. And until he adjusts his scheme, welcome to Atlanta.
All right, appreciate it. Okay, hey, we are going to switch up topics real quick because Ben has
Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to switch over to the NBA.
Ben, what happened last night? What happened last night? That's all I want to know. What happened last night, man?
The
You had it in the books, baby.
You want to know what happened? The Washington Wizards played a basketball game, and the Wizards are very good at making sure they don't win basketball games right now. It's strategic. I understand exactly where the thinking is. They don't feel like they have that cornerstone player on their team yet, although Sarr's developing into a really nice piece for this team here in year number 2. But this team would not have the rights to its first-round pick if they fall out of the top 8 in the draft lottery. And the only way to guarantee that you pick in the top 8 is that you finish bottom 4. And with the amount of teams that absolutely stink in the NBA this year because of all the injuries and because of the loaded draft class upcoming, there are plenty of teams the Wizards actually are competing with to lose enough games. Brooklyn is going to be an ultimate tank bowl game on Sunday. So if you want to see some terrible basketball, or I'm not even going to say terrible because both these teams have some young pieces that could be guys you're going to look forward to seeing in the future. But Wizards and Nets on Sunday is going to be the most interesting tank bowl maybe of the entire season. This Wizards team, they compete for parts of the game. I'd say yesterday I was honestly excited to see them finally compete for the entirety of a game because it'd been frustrating covering the team the past couple weeks on now this 9-game losing streak where you see them compete early in the game, first quarter or the first half, where they actually play great team defense. They'll hold teams to under 30 points in a quarter. Then the wheels come off the tracks for the third quarter pretty much in every single game. And that kind of seems like that's been the strategic play for this organization is let your young talent get after it early in the game and make sure that you ultimately have a lineup out there that will make sure you lose the game. Don't make any adjustments later in the game and ensure that you end up losing enough games to have the rights to your draft pick this year and hopefully not get screwed over in the lottery the way they did last year, of course. But with that being said, they're still developing. They're seeing a lot of positive things out of their young talent that they've tried to establish the draft over the past couple years. It's not going to result in many wins this year. That's just not going to be the case for this Wizards team. And yesterday was a prime example of what inexperience looks like late in the game, trying to close out, and then in overtime as well. They couldn't come through despite the oldest player on the team, C.J. McCollum, scoring 42 points.
Yes.
Well, last night, Lady A put a great text into our chat where she said, "I'm done with the NFL right now. I'm going to watch the Wizards play." Right. And she was absolutely right. It caught my attention. I switched it over and I saw a really good basketball game. My question to you, Ben, it goes back to the core, right? In basketball, you usually need a good starting 3 and 2 more role players.
Mm-hmm.
Have they identified their starting 3 if they want to build around, or they maybe have 1 or 2 and they're still looking for the third piece?
So I made a video on my podcast a couple weeks ago where I think Sarr, Keyshawn George, and then eventually Trey Johnson when he gets his opportunity to showcase himself when hopefully C.J. McCollum is traded at the deadline. I feel like those 3 seem like your core players right now. Then obviously who you add in the 2026 draft class, you'd add to the mix. But just the ability of Keyshawn George and Alex Sarr alone is so intriguing to me because those 2 are so impactful on the defensive side of the basketball. Keyshawn George, who's kind of emerged in this two-way de facto point guard for this Wizards team because that's been the main problem for this team. They don't have a primary ball handler. They don't have a primary creator. So Keyshawn George has kind of taken over this role essentially, and he's done a nice job uplifting this offense in a way that we didn't really see at times last year, especially now that Jordan Poole is gone from the organization. The offense looks quite different at times. When they actually move the ball effectively, things can happen. But Sarr's been the most intriguing thing to me, and I ran through a lot of the advanced statistics today, just trying to deep dive to see how Sarr was comparing to some of his peers. And his BPM right now, box plus minus, was top 20 in the NBA a couple days ago. It dropped to like 30 since then, but it's 8th among centers right now as a second-year player. And per 100 possessions, his points per game is up about 8. His rebounds up 3. His blocks per game, he's second in the NBA overall, just behind Wemby. There's a lot of positive development from Alex Sarr right now, and it's because he's finally figured out what actually works for him offensively. In year number 1, it was too much herky-jerky. It was fading away from the basket, not going up strong, not living around the rim as a 7-footer. His mentality's completely changed here in year number 2, and the results are showing. He's a 20-year-old kid. He doesn't turn 21 until April, and the fact that he's made a leap like this so far here in his second season, I think that gives Wizards fans a lot of confidence going forward that he's going to be a legitimate piece here. I don't know if you're going to ever see like superstar level status for this guy, but the way he's playing right now, he's not going to get the recognition for it because it's a popularity contest and the Wizards are a really bad team, obviously. he's almost playing at an all-star level. We're just going to have to see if he actually sustains it and if maybe a couple years down the road, if he'll get that recognition at some point.
So what you're saying is, Lady A, Al, go ahead and get your Wizards tickets now. Get your season Wizards tickets now. Buy low, sell high. All right.
Yeah.
You got me. I'm gonna have to watch a Wizards game now, Ben. You got me. I'm a big Wembanyama fan. I've heard SARS was doing well. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check this out. Maybe the Wizards got something cooking here soon, huh?
He's not a Wemby, but he's been exciting.
That's what's up.
That's what I wanted to ask you, Ben. SAR's improvement from, like I said, last year to this year, even from his offensive game and his all-around game, has been eye-popping. Last night, you played a team in Detroit that's kind of the blueprint of what I hope the Wizards want to follow.
Exactly.
But the question is, do we have the pieces, even in the 2 or 3 pieces, like you said, to even start the build and be kind of what Detroit has become, a legitimate playoff team who's challenging in the East? That's all we're asking for. I mean, we know beggars can't be choosers in Washington when it comes to basketball.
I think you have the pieces that you can start to develop, and that's what they've started to do. From last year, giving Alex Sarr the keys to kind of experiment in a way, figure out what works and what doesn't. We're almost seeing a similar mold right now with Trey Johnson. They probably could be getting him more looks, setting him pin downs, elevator screens, or whatever you want to draw up to get him open looks from the 3, but they're allowing him to actually try to create with the basketball in his hands himself, let him isolate, see if he can get to his spot. He's excelled in a way at some of those aspects. But to answer your question, yeah, I think you have the piece to start to slowly develop and ramp up things as time goes on, continue to add ancillary pieces. Obviously, you're hoping to get another really talented piece in this upcoming draft. And if you think about it this way, a lot of people say all the losing, going on a double-digit losing streak is really bad for development. You have to remember this Detroit team that's now won 7 games in a row, top of the Eastern Conference, that core of players lost 28 games in a row at one point. Yes. That core of players did it, and they got out of that hell, and they're making mincemeat out of teams they're playing right now because they developed together. That's what the Wizards are trying to do. They're going to be patient in this process. I know a lot of fans can't tolerate patience because they haven't seen good basketball for a long time, but if you stick it out, and you really build this core the right way, you're going to see sustained success that doesn't just last a couple years where you're a play-in team at best. They want to be a perennial contender in the Eastern Conference. You have to build it up slow.
Lydia?
Sorry, I had to unmute.
Yes.
So they have, I believe, the Rockets coming up.
That is correct.
Looking at the past game, what are your expectations for them this upcoming game? I mean, they did better than I expected, but what are your expectations against the Rockets?
Oh, it's tough to put any kind of expectations night to night because you really never know what you're going to get from a young team that has 12 players under 24 years old, and obviously effort can be an issue at times. It was an effort last week when they were in Boston and they end up losing by 29. It's hard to ask a lot of these players when they fall behind to play in system consistently, to give you that consistent effort for 48 minutes through an 82-game season. There's going to be ebbs and flows for this team. And Houston, very good offensively. Kevin Durant is indeed still that guy. They thought, they brought him in because he was the missing piece that Houston needed to get them over the hump. And I know the Van Vliet injury has kind of made things a little bit more complicated, but oh my goodness, Alperen Şengün is one of the best young players in the entire NBA right now. So to watch the matchup with him and Sarr is going to be exciting. I'm excited to see Keyshawn George try to match up with Kevin Durant because George has primarily been the guy that has gone after the primary scorer, the primary ball handler, if you will. So there's going to be a lot of tough challenges that you're going to see this Wizards team try to go through tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to be able to compete with them just because offensively I feel like Houston's too talented. The Wizards don't rebound the basketball well enough, which is a big problem against a great rebounding team like Houston is. But, this is going to be what the season looks like for you. You're going to try to find where you can look for the positive development on a night-in, night-out basis. If you can see Sarr hold his own against Şengün tomorrow, or you can see Keyshawn George limit KD to an extent, you look at that as a win. And also you have to keep in mind Bilal Coulibaly will be out for this Wizards team tomorrow for the 4th straight game. He's now missed 8 games here to start the 2025 campaign, which is not a good sign for a guy that missed significant time in his first 2 years in the league as well. So that's tough that you're down one of your best defenders as well with him.
Um, what about Bub Carrington? Is he not? Is he going to be a piece that we trade to get something else, or are we developing him for another team? Is what I'm really trying to figure out.
I don't think it's that. I think Bub needs time. I know a lot of the fan base has grown pretty impatient with him, but you have to remember he's 20 years old, still a pretty raw product who kind of got thrown into this role this year that I don't think he was ready for. I don't know if he'll ever be ready to play in this role because I don't think Bub Carrington's a point guard. I think he's a combo guard who operates really well in the mid range. We saw that last year, and they asked him to operate as this team's starting point guard this year. And he just doesn't necessarily have that skill set. He's not particularly great at breaking down the defense. He struggles to finish around the rim, but he still has a nice jump shot. And I think the problem we've seen for him is because he's played in this new role this year that he's had a hard time adjusting to. His confidence has been a little bit shot out there at times. You can see it in the body language. You can see it in the way he kind of reacts on the basketball floor in terms of how he celebrates when he makes a shot. There was one night in particular, I think against Cleveland, where he was really struggling to shoot the ball, and he finally got his first free to go in after missing his first 6, I believe. And he kind of had this look on his face, very relieved that he finally got to see one go down. He looked a lot better last night, though, so I'm going to give him a lot of credit there. You got to give him flat moments. He definitely deserves them. He hasn't been good to start the season. You're not going to sugarcoat it for sure, but he's a young player. As I mentioned, he's 20. He's going to have to learn and grow with this Wizards team. So anyone that's ready to like give up on him, I don't think that's really the right way to look at it right now. I think he could develop as a guy that could be a really nice piece for you, even if it's off the bench at some point. If you can get that level of scoring at multiple levels from him off the bench at some point around a really good core, he could be a piece that helps out a team that's good.
Hey, Ben, I'm going to ask you the $1,000,000 question.
Let's go.
How do we turn this top 5 market that we live in, being the Washington District of Columbia District of Columbia, into a top 5 draw for free agents and players? We have the market. We have everything, the following, the arena, everything of a top 5, top 7 market in the league by far, but we're a bottom 5 draw. What do we need to do to turn that around other than, I mean, how do we get good players to come here to want to be a Wizard?
They got to win with this young core. I think that's the easiest way to do it. And I think a lot of people forget that Washington, D.C. is a basketball town.
Yes.
People in the DMV love basketball. They love it more than they love baseball. They love it more than they love hockey. Football and basketball would football's always dominated the town in terms of sports coverage, what people are interested in, and that's evident by the way people talk on the radio. I know Toothpick calls in every day to talk Commanders because that's how it is. But if the Wizards were relevant, if the Wizards were good and people were interested in the team, there'd be a ton of buzz. I just think back to when I was in middle school, when John Wall was in his prime. He was jumping on the scorer's table, forcing a Game 7 against Boston. He had the city on his shoulders at that point. Washington would become a destination for free agents if they can prove to people around the league that this young core is indeed ready to win whenever that time is and that they can sustain that success. It's all going to come with winning. Players want to go where they think they can win. Ring chasing or whatever people have coined it as right now, you got to be a team that has a promising young core to fall into that category. That'll get the fans invested. You're not going to have the stadium overrun by other teams' fans every night like it is right now. That's just the bottom line. Winning cures everything.
One of the best games I ever went to was the I call a game by Paul Pierce. That was one of the best games in Washington, D.C. of any sports that I had ever been to. That was and the city was electric. But
exactly.
we were relevant then.
Exactly.
I do believe that once the Wizards come back to prominence, that you'll see both the football side of town and the basketball side of town come alive, as well as the hockey team, because I think that their rebuild is slowly happening as well. Now that we know that Ovechkin won't be around, but for so many more years. So I think they're starting to thread that needle with here comes our future wave without having to tear it all down. Ben, I know you got to get up early in the morning to get with the junkies. So we just have a couple more questions for you when it comes to the Wizards. My next. Oh, what did Cuzzo say here?
To Ben, if you were the Wizards GM, I know college basketball is starting. Who are you looking at that the Wizards could draft to be a player that they can build around? Good question from Cuzzo.
Great question. Well, the top 3 consensus right now in this draft is Darren Peterson, AJ DeBonsa, and Cameron Boozer. I think if you're in the top 3, you're going to get an elite level basketball player that can contribute early to your squad and ultimately probably become a long-term piece. With what the Wizards need right now, I think there's 2 things they really need. They need a true point guard on this team. They need somebody that can break down the defense, get to the rim and finish, and almost be that alpha level scorer for them. Darren Peterson might be that type of player. I'm going to heavily assess him as the season goes on because he's kind of listed as a combo 2 guard right now. So maybe he falls into that category that Bub Carrington is in. But if he is a much more elite level player than Bub in terms of just all the skill sets, I think you'd be able to overcome him not really being a true 1, and you'd get a guy like that to pair in the backcourt eventually there with Trey Johnson. On the other side, you could look at it and say Alex Sarr looks really good, but how much better would he look if you actually got him some more talent alongside in the front court? Because the Wizards have no depth whatsoever in the front court. Really, the only bigs they have are Sarr and Marvin Bagley, who gives them some pretty good minutes off the bench, and then a 2-way player in Tristan Vukcevic. So if you get an elite paint beast, somebody alongside Alex Sarr, that would open things up pretty significantly for the guy because you wouldn't have to have doubles come his way as much when he gets into the painted area. And now that Sarr's kind of been on this ascension offensively, the scouting report is going to dictate they need to double Sarr in the paint. They need to prevent him from getting as many opportunities around the rim as possible. So if you have Cameron Boozer added to the mix to be part of that equation, another really good player that can get it done at multiple levels because of his athleticism, he can rebound the basketball well, that's another really intriguing prospect. So if I had to eye any 2 guys right now, Peterson and Boozer are probably the top 2 I'd look at. I know DeBonsa seems like the most tantalizing prospect in this draft class, but the Wizards have so much talent on the wing already. I'm not exactly sure how it would fit if that were the case, but if he's really that good and everyone thinks he's the consensus first overall pick, they'd make it work. They'd make it work. That's all I could say about it. If they get a top 3 pick, they're going to get somebody really, really good. That's all I know.
I think Boozer would be a great fit. With the way his father played, he's going to bring some stability and some culture to the team, and that could be huge for that team if they could land Boozer in this draft.
Yeah, that's who I've been pretty high on.
We got a whiz kid question.
Yeah. So on this podcast, we talk a lot about looking in your own backyard, and in this conversation, you've mentioned KD. You've mentioned us needing. Yes, said you talk about looking in your own backyard. Yes, said you do. Okay. But we talk about KD. We talk about the fact that they need a point guard. This area is notorious for that position. In fact, for point guards, how important do you feel that it is for the DC, Maryland, and Northern Virginia area to be tapped into by this team? I mean, you have one of the biggest basketball areas in the country. So how important is that for them to tap into that?
I think it's vital. I think you need to get the youth involved within this organization. I know they've made some efforts to have some open practices at Dunbar High School in DC, a couple of other places as well, because the youth is really important for what you're trying to build, because this is such a rich in talent basketball area where people are into it. It becomes your life. From traveling within the AAU circuits, playing private school ball, or people that play academy as well. This sport can really take you where you want to go in your life. And if you can involve professional basketball, like the love and fandom for a team as part of the equation, that's going to make it that much more intriguing for, some of these young players that really do have the talent to take their game to the next level, to change their life, to change their family's life for the most part. Because if you really got the talent and you're from the DC area, there's a high percentage that you're going to get looked at and that you're going to have an opportunity to go get a free education, play college basketball, and see where you can go with this whole basketball thing. If the Wizards can continue to, find young fans, get them invested into the game, and the Wizards in turn also give back to these communities as well, I think that'll, make this whole broad project of one, rebuilding the Wizards, but also rebuilding this community to love basketball again into an important part of that.
Absolutely outstanding answer. Hey Ben, I really do. I'm gonna have to talk to you offline because I love the energy and depth of knowledge that you bring to our podcast. So I will talk to you offline, probably tomorrow. But we definitely have to have you back to talk
Yes.
more NBA and more
Let's do it.
basketball with us. So, man, I appreciate your time. I know you got to get up early. You got a great show to crank out for tomorrow.
Yeah.
You can catch Ben on his podcast on Locked On Wizards podcast. When do your episodes come out?
It just kind of depends. Like tomorrow, we have one coming out at 7 in the morning Eastern time about Alex Sarr, actually. And then we'll have a live stream likely during the game tomorrow and then a post-game live reaction as well after all Wizards games.
What's it called? What's your podcast called, brother?
It's called
Locked
Locked
On
On Wizards. So it's
Locked On Wizards? Okay.
Yep, Monday through Fridays. The times kind of vary depending on scheduling, but Monday through Fridays.
And you can catch Ben on the Sports Junkies. He is now one of their producers. You'll get Ben. They call him Unfunny Ben. He got a new nickname today called Top. Right? They called him Top.
Yeah, Lil
I
Top.
don't know. Little Top. They called him Little Top today. So you can catch Ben everywhere right now. So we do appreciate you coming on First Thing Podcast, man. It's been great.
I appreciate all of you guys. It's been a blast. Let's do it again.
We'll
Yes.
talk some Maryland basketball next time too. Figure out what's going on with Buzz and them boys and the rebuilding program too. But I know you got to go.
Yep, let's do it. We'll talk about that for sure. Thanks, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Again, that was Ben Strober. You follow him on. You can follow Ben Strober on X as well too at Strober Sports. At Strober Sports on X. Again, he's on the Junkies and Locked On Wizards podcast. So he's everywhere, talking hoops, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. He knows his hoops to be so young. He does. He does.
Yeah, I was impressed, man. I was impressed. That's why I asked. I'm writing his name down. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get some pointers from the kid.
Yeah, I'm very, very impressed with Ben Strober, man, for real. All right, so we did basketball real fast. Let's jump back into the NFL real quick, and we are going to talk a little bit of Madrid now. So both teams,
Hush.
both teams have landed in Madrid. They are there. We have a Dolphins fan on now. He's going to switch from Detroit to being a Dolphins fan. The Dolphins come off of a huge win before heading out to Madrid.
Go
They
Phoenix.
absolutely destroyed the Bills, and the Bills were looking pretty unstoppable. Break down that game for us real fast, please.
And as a Dolphins fan, I couldn't be more disappointed because this is what the Dolphins do. I've been here for 35 years now. They do just enough to finish 7-9 and pick 15th every year, so we don't ever go up and we don't ever go down. We just stay right in dead ass middle of a mediocrity. Excuse my language. And it's heartbreaking. So what happened? I have no idea. And what's so insane about it, okay, is that we've had some big games against Buffalo that I wish that I saw any little bit of the team that I saw on Sunday.
Yeah.
That we absolutely got our butts kicked. And it didn't happen once. It didn't happen twice. It happened 13 out of the last 14 times. Now, because, just like I did for the Commanders, I'm trying to plug Treylon Burks,
He's hurt.
Anthony
I don't even think he
Weaver.
made the trip.
Oh, well, Anthony, I wasn't going to go there. He's going to do anything. I think he might score 5 touchdowns against the Dolphins. Who knows? From Washington. He don't even need to be there. That's how bad this defense is. But from time to time, they're going to come and play. And we've seen it 2 out of the last 3 weeks. I actually was really shocked that, there's so much in Miami to talk about that I'm shocked about. The trade deadline was shocking to me. When I saw the Dolphins let Jalen Phillips, their 26-year-old edge rusher with almost a 30% pass rush win rate this season, go for a 3rd-round pick, I most certainly thought it was a fire sale in Miami. But when that's the only player we trade is possibly one that we should have kept for the future rather than Chubb or Fitzpatrick or the other edge player which I don't even know his name because he hasn't played but 3 or 4 downs for us this season. We signed him a free agent late in training camp, and I'm going to draw a blank. So, but
Dude, what do you think about the fact that the rumor was out there that there was a trade in place for Jalen Waddle to go to Buffalo for a first and a second, but Miami would not make that trade because they wanted
Because it's division.
they wanted the top 20 pick. They wanted the top 20 pick.
They wanted that first round pick to be next year instead of 27.
Oh, I thought it was a top 20 pick. Was it also that they wanted in 27?
What I heard was they wanted Miami was Buffalo was offering a first and a second, the second next year, first to 27. Buffalo wanted the other way around. Miami wanted the other way around.
And listen, I'm happy they didn't give. I'm happy they didn't give Waddle up. Really, the thing is now, and finally my Dolphins did something that I wanted to see them do. Chris Greer has been the issue. He's made some splashy trades and some splashy acquisitions, but the man's had no foresight. We should have signed Christian Wilkins after the 2022-2023 season. We could have got him for a 5-year, $65 million contract or something like that. I think he wanted 4 years and $65 million. Instead, we waited 2 more seasons and lost him to the Raiders for 4 years and $110 million. So what are you doing? And evidently the issue was that Christian Wilkins didn't get the sack number that he wanted to be. But just because you're not getting 10 sacks a season doesn't mean that you aren't the heart and soul of the defense. So Chris Greer, there's been a lot of foresight issues in the locker room. Mike McDaniels, what he did for Tua Tagovailoa's career, I think speaks for itself. Tua Tagovailoa was this close to being a bust. And Mike McDaniel walked in the door, and from that first phone conversation he had with Tua, he turned his career around. Now, unfortunately, Tua is not very mobile. The concussions have been unfortunate. But if you go back to the first one against the Cincinnati Bengals, he was holding the ball too long on a dead play and let himself get suplexed by one of the biggest defensive tackles in the league. And then he came back a couple of weeks against Buffalo. You can't trust Tua at this point. If he gets hit too hard, he's out. So you have to have a solid backup. We haven't been able to keep a solid backup in Miami. Tyreek Hill, to a point, became a poison in the locker room at the end of last year. That he probably shouldn't have made it through the offseason, no matter what his dead cap money was. So there's just been a lot of mismanagement of this roster, and I don't know what the future holds for this team. I do think that Mike McDaniels, as a Dolphins fan, I know that if we let Mike McDaniels go, I'm going to watch him go on to have success with another NFL franchise for the next 10 to 15 years. So
as an offensive coordinator,
as a head coach again, no.
Really?
As a head coach again, absolutely.
Wow, okay.
Absolutely. Don't forget that this team put up 70 points a couple of years ago.
But they can't. They
couldn't get over the hump. How many coaches can't get over the hump every season? I'm pretty sure it's 31 of them.
I get it, but I'm just saying, Mike McDaniel, excuse me. I think he's a great coordinator, but I think he's one of the great coordinators. Great coordinator, but don't cut it.
Great coordinators get head coaching positions again
all the time.
But some coordinators know that they are coordinators and they stay in that role.
Josh McDaniels.
We can even look at Andy Reid's guy on the defense side.
Spagnuolo.
Spags he was a head coach.
Josh McDaniels tried to be a head coach twice, disastrously.
I know he's been
one time in Oakland and one time in Denver, correct? But I'm saying they still get those head coaching positions again. I think Mike McDaniel is smart enough and is witty. I think that he could run a team, So I think he could get an opportunity again. Either way, I think he's going to have success in the league. Whether it's a head coach or not, that is debatable. But I don't think any man at his age doesn't learn a lot of lessons from what he's gone through in the last few years.
Yeah, I like him. I really do like him. And to tell you the truth, Lady A, I'm gonna just speak to you right now. It's just you and I, no one else. I wouldn't mind McDaniels being in Washington as our coordinator.
Then you want to get rid of Cliff, man. See,
he's going to go somewhere as a head coach. He's going to go somewhere as a head coach.
We gotta take one step at a time.
And
We
you
have
guys would love
someone that
that. I
needs to
agree
go
with that.
first.
Let me say something. We were talking earlier about this, and I want you all to hear this because I agree with this statement. I can't claim it as my own because I heard it earlier. But they say if you have the quarterback and the right head coach in today's NFL, you're guaranteed to be in the playoffs and playoff contention. So if you're not right now, it's either because you don't have the right quarterback or don't have the right coach or both.
Well, sometimes injuries can play a factor in that. There are some injuries that you cannot avoid. However, I do feel like we're in a position where our injuries, some of them could have been avoided, including the fact that you have a young quarterback who is definitely considered on the smaller side, always running for his life. He was going to get hurt, and that's because we don't have a line to protect him. There are a
Well,
lot of other
no, I wouldn't
factors.
say
But that
that.
was your
Let's
strong
keep it
suit.
real.
Yeah, that was
Let's
your
keep
I
it
strong
would.
real. Let's keep
I
it
think
real.
our offensive line is as healthy as we don't have injury problems on our offensive line. Our injury
No,
problems
no,
are
no. I
at our
didn't
skill
say that
position.
the injury was on the Jaden Daniels runs for his life
Yes,
sometimes. I didn't say the offensive line was hurt. I'm saying Jaden is hurt because he's always running for his life. He was bound to get hurt. So I feel like, yeah, that could be on the head coach. So to your point, Al, just the fact that Jaden is hurt in our situation could be on the coach. However, there are times, like to that statement in general, if you put it in general aspect, there are times where you cannot avoid a injury.
I get that part. But let me say to your point, what you said him running all the time. Is that a scheme problem or is that a decision problem from Jaden? Because the plays could be coming in one way, and if Jaden's not seeing it because of lack of talent on the outside to win, or just he's not reading the proper read or progression through the defense.
I
So
want to answer that
so I'm
question.
oh, go ahead, Pitt.
I believe, and I want you to think back to last year that Jaden had to learn to trust Terry. He had to learn to trust Terry. There's no Terry there. He had a connection with Debo. Debo goes down, and then you're down all of your wide receivers that you do trust. So I think that he's running right now out of the fact that he has wide receivers that he can't trust.
Mm.
However, my point with McDaniels is what he did for Tua, telling Tua, you got to get the ball out of your hands. The fact that McDaniels is not afraid to run the ball. If I don't run the ball, then I'm going to get the ball out of my quarterback's hands quickly. I can go quick game. He keeps Tua upright and available every week. Yes, Jaden legs are an asset, but they should not be the only thing. Where is the quick game? Where is the dumping the ball off to the running backs?
Right.
Keep your quarterback on the field so that he can keep your drives moving. We don't have that.
Well, here's the
We don't
thing.
see slants.
I'm glad you mentioned Tua. One thing that's an issue with Tua and Q, I'm sure you were extremely stressed out about this. Tua gets hurt. If
That's
Tua,
just one of the issues.
yeah, well, yeah, but here's my thing, Pick. What I'm saying is that quarterback protection is key. The best way to tell about how your team is doing with quarterback protection is when they snap the ball, count. How long? How many seconds does it take for them to get through your line? Last season, Jaden's rookie year, Terry was there all year. He had targets. We always said that he had targets. He had people. He had B Rob. He handed the ball off to him quite often. But I was at every single home game last year. I looked. He didn't have time. People didn't make a lot of complaints because we were still winning. The ball was still moving, but he did not have a lot of time. And so that has not been fixed. That has not been corrected this season. And so for him running, it's a combination of things. Yes, he cannot find someone that he trusts, but he doesn't have much time to do it. And in last year, I spoke on this and we had a whole segment about Jaden's training when he was over at LSU and how he had the VR headsets and how everything moved quickly. So because of that, he was able to adjust without having as much time as other quarterbacks. So that the fact that he had that VR training was beneficial to us because he really didn't have much time. He still doesn't. So if you're talking about a coach or a offensive coordinator, you want to find someone who prioritizes quarterback safety and protection. And I don't feel like using someone who was over a system that was notorious for the quarterback to get hurt. I don't think that would be a good fit. In truth.
So that's Tua didn't get hurt because of Mike McDaniel. Tua got hurt because he was injury prone. You probably shouldn't have drafted a quarterback number 4 overall that had that hip injury to go with, especially when you had a 6'5" guy with a rocket sitting right there next to him. So Tua, because of the lack of arm strength, what Tua is really good at is reading the defense pre-snap and anticipating where to put the ball. And then the accuracy on those passes is immaculate for the player to catch and run if everything is perfect in perfect conditions. Now, they're able to mix that up, but only with a one high safety set. As soon as you drop a second safety, that you take that long ball. But if there's a single safety with Tyreek Hill and Waddle on the field, they were able to take advantage and take the top off of the defense. But if you watched any of those deep throws, Waddle and or Hill had to slow down to catch every single time. One of those passes. They were never, that deep ball was never in stride. That was a schematic that those guys got open because of the offensive game plan that Mike McDaniels ran. Mike McDaniels draws up a great game plan for a quarterback to get the ball out of his hand fast. And when you look around the league, why is Caleb Williams having so much success in Chicago right now?
He's getting
the ball out. Jared Goff getting the ball out. Sam Darnold getting the ball out. Matt Stafford getting the ball out. Mm-hmm. The days of a quarterback, I think, hanging on to the ball for a quarterback looking forever. Mahomes looked horrible last year because he was waiting way too long to get the ball out of his hand.
You give us perfect example. Thank you, Q. Thank you for Sam Mahomes. But right now, Mahomes has all 3 of his wide receivers. He has all 3 of his wide receivers and Travis Kelce. He looks totally different now because he has targets to get the ball out of his hand.
Mm-hmm. And they still don't have much of a running game.
They don't.
Yeah.
Pacheco before he broke his leg, they haven't. He hasn't been back right since he broke his leg.
So Q, let's do this. The game Sunday morning in Madrid. What are the keys for the Dolphins to win?
Well, so the only reason that Devon, and I want to make sure I say his name right because I've been saying it wrong to myself since he came into the league. Achane, yes, Devon Achane had a monster game. It was, so there's another thing here too that you said that I could tell you haven't watched too many of the Mike McDaniels games. He gets away from running the ball. When he's having success, he does it. But when they start struggling, it's just pass. And but you got to still down by 2 touchdowns is nothing in this league, so you don't start up third quarter and abandon the run or halfway through the second quarter because you're down by 2 scores, abandon the run. But yeah, he had 22 carries for 174 yards and 2 touchdowns. We have another 60 yards on the ground. Tua Tagovailoa threw 2 interceptions. I didn't check the number because I didn't want to make myself that angry today, but I'm pretty sure he leads the league in turnovers, second in interceptions, but first in turnovers because of the fumble issues that he's had as well. I think the biggest question, and it's just, you remember I said it last week that it's one of those, we just watched and a better defense than I think the Dolphins had, but we just watched the Lions drop one off of a bye week to the Vikings, and the Bills came in flat. And I kept expecting them to turn it around, and it never happened. It is an attribute to the Dolphins defense. It is an attribute to Mike McDaniel getting the most out of this team. I think this team may be being thankful to be as together as they continue to be after the trade deadline. But Tua Tagovailoa it needs to have a good game. I don't know what the weather is supposed to be in Madrid. Are they playing indoors? It's a soccer field, is it not?
I think it's outdoors, though.
Oh,
I think
okay.
it is.
On the
I think
pitch.
it's open top. Yeah.
On the pitch, I learned that recently, so I wanted to use it. You know?
What's the temperature for the game, Q? Because I can't play below like 60 degrees.
I know all of that. And listen, I'm a Florida boy myself. I moved up to the Arctic, and we're at the time of year I don't go outside. All right. I won't go outside again until about the end of May. So I'm going to have to get a makeup person because I'm going to get this really horrible pasty sheen.
Oh.
It's going to be horrible. Yeah. I just put my face in the window some days and just try. It's bad. But so yeah, no, I know it's going to be chilly. I'm hoping it's not going to be chilly and rainy because you can't throw the ball. And I'm a realist about my team. I want to see better, and I really thought that we had it a few years ago. And all I keep asking myself is what if they would have drafted Herbert instead of Tua, and Herbert would have been throwing to Waddle and Tyreek Hill for the last couple of years, with Mostert, who just gave him one of the best seasons that a 30-year-old plus running back has ever had in this league, with the 21 rushing touchdowns he had 2 years ago. Then you have A-Chain that came on as just dynamite, 107 carries, 800 and something yards. He averaged almost 9 yards a carry, 8 yards a carry his first season, and had double-digit touchdowns. It was just crazy there for a couple of years, and they came up short. Tua got hurt. And it's all the cheese has slid off the cracker in Miami.
Hey Q, you're sounding very commandish right now. You know that, right?
Come on, Q.
All this
We're
what
just
if
trying to
stuff,
give me
this
two
what if stuff.
keys.
You're sounding very commandish over here. They might be rubbing off on you, Q.
No.
All
right. So 2 keys for the Dolphins.
2 keys.
2 keys for the Dolphins to win the running game.
Okay.
And we need Daniels not to come back. If Daniels plays in this game, we're gonna lose.
No, he's not. He's not. He didn't even go.
Thank God. All right. Thank God. Yeah, the running game. That's gonna be what it's gonna take. Waddle. We don't have a tight end. Waller's not gonna be playing. So again, A-Chain and Waddle are the 2 keys that the Dolphins have on their offense. So if the Commanders can control them and keep them at bay, really A-Chain is the whole offense, because if he can get a good running game like he had last week, it opens up some room for Tua to be able to have a couple turnovers and them still score enough points to win the game.
Hey Q, you do not have to be nice to these 2 people. You can tell
Whatever.
them hop all
So
over.
I do have a weather report, guys.
Go.
Okay. What
you got?
And hold on. After your weather report, I need 2 keys from you, Lady A, for the Commanders to win this game.
Okay. So, weather report, 57 degrees.
Got to change.
That's under 60.
A morning shower in spots, otherwise more clouds than sun. It's not going to be too windy though. It's going to be 8 miles per hour southwest wind, so not too bad. In the shade, it will be 54 degrees. So,
all right, so Lady A, let's get your keys.
So the keys, okay, everybody on the line. And the line of scrimmage. If you are on the line of scrimmage, you need to step it up. What does that tell you?
Offensive, defensive line.
Both.
Gotcha. So
that is the keys. Well, that's just one. So pretty much the whole team needs to step it up. And the second is for Joe Witt to act like his job is on the line.
Perfect segue, Lady A. Perfect
I
segue.
mean,
Joe Witt is no longer the play caller. Dan Quinn has assumed the duties and responsibilities
so
as a defensive
here's the
coordinator.
thing. There are certain things during the game that he is responsible for. I don't care who is the play caller and things like that. You're coming to work and you're working. So he needs to act as if his job is on the line, because it is.
Yeah.
and he needs to step it up more than anyone. So whatever it is, if they got him going to go get water, he needs to bring back the best water on earth. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Lady,
those are the
Be
two
some of
things.
that Bobby Boucher water, huh?
Because, I mean, real
Lady
talk,
A.
when someone's job is on the line, I mean, and y'all know I've been HR, I've put people. He's on a PIP, okay, so that's a performance improvement plan, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes when you're on a PIP, you see the most amazing work coming out of people, you know. So yeah, that he needs to be that guy to understand that, you know, all the whole team really does, and that's why I said step it up, but more importantly him. I feel like once the fire is lit under the team, they can win. They have the capabilities. Everyone in the NFL has capabilities of beating other teams, like everyone. It's just a matter of how well do you want it, okay, and move forward with that.
Lady A, you got it, because I got a migraine.
What you say?
I got a migraine.
Okay.
You got it.
Okay.
Oh, all right, Pick. Have a good night, sir.
All right.
Appreciate y'all.
It was probably me talking about the Dolphins. I'm sorry, it's depressing. I get all
Asking crazy
emotional and feel it in
questions.
my chest. I didn't mean to, man. It's
Them needing two keys to figure out how they're gonna get a win. The Dolphins just show up and you'll have a win. That's all.
Oh my.
No, what I'm saying, I'm giving you all my own advice. Like, what did I say, Lady A? How mad was I last year when the Cowboys actually competed in most of those games? We didn't have our quarterback. I said the win doesn't mean anything. At this point, for you all already, like you said, are depleted with the number of draft picks. So you need to make sure you better those position of those draft picks. Winning games this year does not do. You got to think long term. If you're from Washington fan right now,
both
stop
teams are
living-
in the same situation, though. Both
Well,
teams are in
that's-
the same situation.
Yeah.
Exact
all
same
three of
situation.
our teams are in that same
Actually,
situation.
the Commanders, if you ask me, the Commanders are in a better situation because they have a quarterback. They have
We
a
have a
quarterback
quarterback,
that
too.
you know can take you to a NFC championship game in its rookie season. The future is
See,
bright.
That's smoke and mirrors, Q.
Yeah, no, it isn't.
Let me say this, and I say this to say I don't think he's a bad quarterback, but I think it was so many things that happened right last year for the Commanders. Getting back there, even when like I told him they could be a better team this year, but not get as far. I kept telling Lady A that last year, and I think they do have the quarterback, but I think they need so much to put around that quarterback. And the problem now is they only got 2 years to really do that because in about a year and a half they're going to have to pay Jayden that money. So then, with the money and the cap available you have to spend on putting players around him is going to shrink tremendously because he's going to be looking at somewhere about $75 million a year and 5 years and somewhere in the guarantee of probably about close to $300 million.
We
So,
see
I
this
mean-
differently, though. I see Jaden Daniels as a bigger, more accurate coming out of college version of Lamar Jackson. The only thing that I worry about Jaden Daniels' future is the culture in Washington. Can they fix the culture? Because obviously Lamar walked into an amazing culture in Baltimore. They had been doing what they've been doing in Baltimore for a long time.
But it said the culture that Lamar was in. I mean, like I said, but
Jaden Daniels he have watched that boy put his cape on and fly that team to the rescue a few times last season.
You're
like
correct.
very few players have the ability to do. You can't overlook that.
No, I'm not overlooking that.
You know?
When I say you're correct, and if anybody heard what I said, he's not Lamar. I think he came out a better thrower than Lamar, but Lamar was a much more dynamic runner than Jaden was. Okay, so that's where the differentiation for me between the two. But they both were franchise quarterbacks that were
freak athletes.
That was a trouble for any defense.
Right.
So
The
let me
problem was, go ahead.
go ahead.
No,
No,
go ahead.
I just wanted to point out that I do think that Jaden is special. Okay. And we know that. And it's his mind that is the what makes him special. He has a certain level of football intelligence. In the past, I've talked about we've had some quarterbacks on our team that had they were such intelligent quarterbacks, but their physical the physical nature of the quarterbacks wasn't quite where it should have been. Like, for instance, people hate when I say this, but when you take a step back and you look at it, it's true. Taylor Heineke, very intelligent quarterback. He has a very high football IQ.
Okay.
His downfall is that he's short and his arm is weak. He's
What's the problem?
so he would
Right.
be amazing, later on in life as a coach, things like that. But he very intelligent. Jaden has the football IQ, and then he's also
Physical
able
attributes. The
to
one- yeah.
have this physical aspect of it. Now, he's young, so the physical part can still improve. He can do quite a few things to improve. He
He's got
does
things you
have,
can't teach people. He's got
But
things
that's
you can't
kinda
teach
my
people.
point.
You know,
But that's kind of my point too with you, Lydia. You're absolutely right. Jaden's best ability is, like you said, he's special and the ability to bring those around him up.
Mhm, mhm.
But the problem is, you had a certain level of talent around him that was easy to. You weren't starting from here; you were starting here, so it was able to bring him up here.
Yeah.
With you now, he's surrounded by everything bottom tier. So even when he's bringing him up, he's bringing him to here, and
Mm.
it's still not good enough. And that's the difference between this year and last year,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Well, I do think that I'm just gonna put it out there. The coaching staff, this kind of falls on them, the front office, as far as the decline from last year to now. Yes, everyone is going to look at tape. They got tape on you now. That's a given. It's going to happen, right? But you, as an organization, you're supposed to anticipate that, and you're supposed to keep them guessing, and you're supposed to adjust.
that's where coaching comes in. Absolutely.
And I see no adjustments.
Right.
In fact, I'll take that back. I see no adjustments on offense. I see adjustments on defense, but they're the wrong adjustments. On defense, like I said earlier, they've made adjustments that I guess they thought they were good, but they put you in a worse spot than you did last year. Last year, the defense was not amazing. Let's just put it out there. They were not amazing. It's just that the offense was able to score way more than they're able to this year. The defense allowed quite a few points last year. They did. They allowed quite a few points, but the
Yeah,
offense
those were blowout wins. You're right. Those were really, and that's why I think that your team stuck with me last year, is because of how exciting those games were.
correct.
But you're right.
All
They were
these
high
close
scoring games.
games,
Right.
yeah, all these close games. That means that the defense didn't necessarily stop people. It's just that your offense was able to outscore the other team,
So
and so
what's the answer for that going forward? How about the New York Giants head coach that just got fired? He the bowl almost saved his job in New York a couple of times. Look what he did with Josh Allen's career.
Mhm.
Maybe you give him a chance to mold Jaden Daniels
Yeah.
for a few years, either
Okay,
as the OC.
to what you're saying, I'm gonna tell you one of the biggest problems, in my opinion, it was set from the coaching staff, from the administration or up top, when they didn't hire anybody new, and they said we're good here. If with success, you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
And everybody was comfortable.
yeah, you're right.
It set the
Way
wrong.
too
It set the wrong message that
Yeah.
we're not going to change anybody. We're good, as
Yeah.
opposed to we're going to get better. Even though we were good this year, we got to make some changes to get better here, so
You're
we
right.
can make you all better. But
And-
they didn't set that tone
Yeah,
in the coaching staff. They said,
they
"Oh, we
said
good."
it, but they didn't.
They didn't do anything about it. They didn't act upon it. They
Yeah,
didn't hire anybody new. Their whole motto was, "We're good." We're
I
gonna
think
keep
they
everything
thought
the
that they
same.
were going to load up the roster, which on paper they very much did during the offseason. I think they felt that they were going to load the roster up. And it almost seems like this happens at least to one team a year. They come in with a veteran haul of free agents, and the team looks like it's going to be so much better next year.
It never
And
works.
a few injuries here and a few injuries there, and all of a sudden
You fall apart.
You're fourth in the division and you're picking in the top 10 again next year.
But where does that work at, Q? Where's I see what you're saying. Everybody does that. Some teams do that model, but give me the evidence of where that actually works.
All right. Well, listen, we got here. We started with talk about McDaniels and the different skill sets between Tua Tagovailoa and Jaden Daniels going forward. I think that Jaden Daniels is the better quarterback. I think we're going to continue to see development from Jaden Daniels. Honestly, I from what I've heard and seen about this kid, I think he comes back probably weighing about 225, 230 next year.
Yeah.
And we see a big bulked up Jaden Daniels that doesn't get pushed around quite as easily.
Yeah.
And we'll see what that adds to. We'll see what that adds to his rushing ability.
Yeah. But what's crazy is that he did pick up weight.
Yeah, he did.
He already did, right? But I think he's listed at 210 this year.
Yeah, but he's getting hurt more now than he did, scrawny little Jaden. So
bad season.
But
you could be right there too. It's
injury prone.
There are body types. There are body types. I think that we're going to – I just can't see – it's kind of similar to C.J. Stroud and with the Texans, and maybe I'm wrong, but, you saw a flash there, and you can't think that the flash was fake. It's very – unless it's going to be a new trend where quarterbacks have their best season during their rookie season, I think the kid's going to continue to develop. I think there's still
but don't let
a good future. There may need to be a coaching change in Washington. There may need to be a training staff change in Washington. There may need to be a preseason or training camp regiment change. You never really know. I'm not sure where the Commanders finish usually on their practice facility, but there's a lot of things that teams can do now as far as bringing different types of doctors in to limit a lot of these petty injuries, from the way that guys warm up and to how they take care of their bodies after games. So maybe there's something else behind the scenes there that we don't know, because I'd hate to see this be a continuation of anything similar to the RG3 situation. I know that we've talked about this before, and you guys think that Jaden Daniels loves the game more than RG3 did, but it would almost just seem like a curse if you see this young man come in and just light it up his first year and then just never be able to get back to that glimpse that you saw. I mean,
or Andrew Luck situation, Q, where he leaves the game
gave
early
up.
because he gave up because it was never put into the right situation.
Now, on a whole nother note, though, Andrew Luck came from crazy dumb money, so it's way easier to turn around and decide that you're gonna, go do whatever else when your people got hundreds of millions of dollars in the bank. You know what I'm saying? If you're coming from places like you, me, and Miss A are, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to get to that bag, so I'm gonna let them hit me a couple of more years. Damn it!
Oh, they can hit me now. They can hit me right now. They got enough of it. I understand.
Right, I'm from down there where Kimbo Slice was tackling people on the beach, and I sat there all day one day and thought about it, and it was like, no, I don't need the $100 that bad,
Yeah.
Ain't no good in spending the money if it's all going to the dentist bill. To the dentist, got to put the teeth back in.
Oh my goodness. All right, so I'm pulling up this line.
Oh, so we got a question here in the I don't know if you guys saw this.
About Buffalo?
So Quint, do you feel that the Buffalo game was save the coach game, but looking I'm sorry, am I not seeing the whole thing?
But looking at the weapons that Miami still had, do you feel you can do the same thing in this game? Basically, they want to say, can you repeat your performance?
No, I don't. Listen, I would love to say yes. I'd love to say that this team has turned the corner and that things are about to start improving in Miami. And it may appear to be that for a short period of time. But there seems to be very deep-seated cultural issues in Miami. I think it's hard as a young man to go down to South Florida and be handed unlimited amounts of money and hold yourself to the standard that you've probably held yourself your whole entire life to get there, and I think we see that issue over and over again with Miami Dolphins players. And maybe it just makes for a bad culture in the locker room, because you hear they're the top of everything every year. Their practice facilities are so nice. Their locker room's so nice. The food's so great. The training's so great. Yet the Dolphins always seem to have some in-house issues. Going back to the Richie Incognito situation many years ago, it's just always been something. Even Ricky Williams, Ricky Williams gave up on the team to go smoke weed once upon a time. So for lifelong Dolphins fans, it's been a long time of just getting kicked in the gut over and over again.
You got one this week. You got one this week.
Now, hey, listen, I have a question for you guys that I would really love to get your take on it. So do you think it's because you guys just got a taste of this? Maybe this is more to you, Miss A. You just got a taste, Lady A. You just got a taste of this past year. Do you think it's better to know that your team's going to do horrible this season, or to actually believe they have a chance and then lay a dud like both of these teams are this year?
So I feel like it kind of depends on you as a person. However, I feel like being on a roller coaster, an emotional roller coaster, is never a good thing for your fan base. So to think that your team is going to do amazing, and then they do amazing a couple games, these other games they're doing terrible, then they're doing mediocre, that's terrible. Right. I think that fans are not prepared emotionally in that situation.
This should be my question, that. Because
I don't know why you ever think. You notice I didn't.
I'm the king of over expectations. I'm the king of over expectations.
Yes, you are.
So I should be telling you all how this feels and what you all should be doing.
Well, I asked the question because 2 years ago I really believed that the Dolphins had a chance to run for a Super Bowl. Yeah,
actually 2 years ago,
believed in my heart
when they lost with the Kansas City in that cold game and couldn't score.
No, remember they were like destroying people. They were scoring 70 points on.
I'm just saying they scored 70 points against. I think it was
I was in a bar in Green Bay for that game, and I cleared that whole bar out. I was in there going so insane, man. Those people didn't know what to do with me. There was once I really, really believed it in my heart, and then they just ripped the soul out of me for the last couple of years. And I imagine after going like you guys did, knocking the Lions off in the playoffs last year, there was a lot of when you first approached me about calling this game, I was like, oh my gosh, this is a NFC Championship game preview. Of course, I would love this opportunity.
Quarterback's an acorn falling out the tree on his head away from a concussion.
Well, that was. He had just done the gang sign. He had just done gang signs once. Okay, I thought it was like an initiation or something.
Like,
I didn't know it was going to be a continuation of him doing that.
Q is in timeout for that comment.
Well, you guys didn't see it? I mean, I'm sorry.
I saw it.
I was so worried. I'm not going to. Al, you're in timeout as well.
Did he just reenact? I'm trying so hard not to reenact it right now. But
Al is doing it for you.
Okay, yeah.
But no, I mean,
I'm glad I'm not looking at you right now. That's good.
In truth, it's. I mean, if like there are certain teams that their expectations are so low, and so if they win a game, it's like, okay, yeah. Literally, there are certain teams that if they win a game, like, okay. The Jets fan base, especially this season, their expectations are low. So if you win a game, it's like, oh, great, they did something. But other than that, I think that, when your team has so much promise, and especially if you look at my team, we've gone through it the past, just not even 5 years, just the past 3 years, we've gone through so much. I mean, we've had an identity change. We had to change our name. We've had ownership change. We were featured in Congress. It was just not. It's been so much.
You got
And
the new stadium name coming.
Schneider was his name, right?
Yeah,
yeah, he had to go.
Yeah, he really did. And in truth, he's been running the team down into the ground since '99, and it was awful. And I'm a lifelong fan, so of course I remember the owner prior to, and it's definitely, we were down in the dumps. People were not attending games. Literally, they were booing Snyder anytime he made, he showed his face anywhere. People were wearing bags over their heads. People were saying, I'm not going to attend games. I'm not going to be a fan. I'm not going to purchase anything until he's gone. So once, we start hitting their pockets, it's like, okay, yeah, things changed. And that was a good thing. That was the people talking. So, and that's what I tell Al as a Dallas fan. He needs to understand that you guys really should take a page from our book, but they're not doing that. They're not going to stop.
We've had this conversation for lady.
Yeah, I told you.
We can't get rid of our owner. I told you.
You can get rid of any owner if you start costing him money. Stop.
Yeah, stop. Listen to me.
Paying.
2 years ago, let's start this over. 2 years ago, the Chiefs won back-to-back Super Bowls. Their value went up $700 million.
Right.
That same year, we lost for the second year in a row the first playoff game. Ours went up $2 billion.
Would you like to know why your value went up?
Next year, we won 7 games. Our value went up another $2 billion.
And your value is going up because of the revenue, right?
That Jerry is making for the entire
exactly league. And you guys are the ones that is funding this.
But guess what? As long as he's making money for the whole league,
and he's making money off of you guys,
he's going to keep making. They're going to keep.
Look, Jerry World is a gold mine. He doesn't even need that NFL team to be making money. Jerry World is sold out all season long, all year long, doing all sorts of different venues. I've actually heard the Cowboys are on the lower end of what the money that Jerry's making right now with that stadium. So,
but here's the thing, Snyder was good. Like that was not new. None of that stuff that was reported to Congress was new. Okay, none of the stuff that was leaked was new. The reason why the NFL no longer protected him is because he started costing them money. That's how you get rid of an owner. You put them in a situation where you're costing him money.
But see, Jerry does an amazing job of keeping the Cowboys in the news cycle.
Exactly. He tells you
that is literally all he's doing. He's running a WWF franchise over there.
He wants to be a social media brand. That's it. He's all about he just wants, like he tells you, I don't care about winning. I'm just going to make up a story and make us relevant again.
It's a heck of an answer because it's wrestling. It's literally wrestling, and the fans know it's fake, but they still come and watch it. So and so that's why Jerry's going to stay there.
Yeah,
for
forever.
Why do you think I keep sending rat poison for his coffee?
You know what? Al's views.
Wrong number.
Al's views and Al's behavior does not represent.
I tell you, it's my views. I told you I don't want the man there.
You ever watch Boondocks?
Yeah.
You saying it?
Yeah, Big Uncle Ruckus vibes, man.
Listen, man, I tell them, I listen. I love the Cowboys. I hate Jerry. Every day, I look for those headlines. And be like, daggone now, he's still here.
Stop it.
And I mean, listen, I'd be more worried about his son. His son seems like a goofball to me. But
no, let me try. Let me get Steven in there. Let me see. Jerry Jr. Let me try with them. I've seen what he does. I've seen with Jerry. I've seen what the older guy, the old senile guys doing.
Maybe I was getting him mixed up with the Raiders with Al Davis. Son. Yeah. They look like they're brothers, don't they? Or is it just me?
Well, let's before we go, let's go ahead and get these. Yeah, let's do the picks of the week. Well, of Thursday for Thursday's game. This Thursday we have New England Patriots versus New York Jets. We just mentioned that. So the New England, Drake May will lead the New England Patriots, who are 8-2, against the New York Jets, who are 2-7. They're going to play at Gillette Stadium. So last week the Patriots played the last game. They played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That game was 28-30. Drake May had 270 yards. Okay, his passing rating was 51.6%. So of course, Patriots fans are definitely on a high. So then we have the Jets. Their last game, 27-20 over the Cleveland Browns. The Jets fans are losing it. I've seen some footage on social media. Justin Fields' performance for the Jets against the Browns, he had 6 of 11 passing for 54 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He rushed 7 times for 28 yards. So these two teams come together. Let's see what I'm looking for the report, the injury report. I don't think that is out yet. Hold on. It should be because it's a Thursday game.
I'll check for you. I haven't seen it yet either.
Okay, well, let me go over to the line. All right, we use Caesar Sportsbook. We have, what'd you say, Al?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we have the spread. We have the Jets plus 13, minus 113. New England Patriots minus 13, minus 108. The money line for the Jets is plus 575.
Good God,
right? Here's the kicker. New England Patriots, their money line is minus 950. The over under that's set at 43. The over is minus 110, under minus 111. So, Al. Well, no, actually, our guest goes first. Q, what you got?
Y'all are so polite. You know what I'm saying? You got now second. Wow. There's just a shout out to Mike Vrabel.
Oh wait,
Shout out Mike Vrabel.
If you want.
What a way to turn this franchise around in New England. I heard he was going to come in and turn this team around. I didn't believe it. Drake May is having an absolutely fantastic season. Yeah. I think he went from 15 touchdowns to 10 interceptions with an 88.1 rating last year. He's already got more yards this season, 300 more yards this season than he had all of last season, 4 more touchdowns, 19 touchdowns and 5 interceptions for 113.9 rating.
He might be the best quarterback in his draft class.
He's a good one. It was a good draft class.
Hey, you don't have to keep being nice. I don't know what
it's just listen, I just watched enough football.
You're a hater.
I just watched enough professional sports to know.
Just because she look like she can fight, don't mean she can fight.
Listen, I can swab a little bit too. I just look like this, baby. I swear. But no, I've just watched enough professional sports that I know that these careers are long. I mean, look at Sam Darnold. Look at Sam Darnold right now playing freaking amazing football. The Vikings were fools not to re-sign him, and that was Seattle's gain. And I didn't necessarily believe it. I thought both of them made a mistake. Not to get totally off subject here, but I've watched enough football to know that things happen. Some organizations aren't cut out to what they're supposed to be, and players develop. If you work hard enough and you want it, you will get it in life, on the field. So yeah, I don't think that we're going to see about that. But no, this New England team is impressive. 8-2, shocking. comeback win last week. Because it's a divisional game, I'm going to have to say that I think that the Jets covered. They're also coming off their first victory of the season, if I'm correct.
Mhm.
Second. Okay, I don't know if Justin Fields is coming back anytime soon. But the running back, I do know that the New York Jets running back was absolutely crazy last week because he's on my fantasy team, and for some reason, Brees Hall. Yeah, Brees Hall went crazy last week. Had like 34 fantasy points or something, if I remember correctly.
Shoot, not like them 61 that Taylor put up. Good gracious.
But one of the New England's big signings was that defensive tackle Milton in the middle, who's really made running against them hard. So I think the Patriots are going to win the game. But I expect did you said it was 13 points, correct?
Yeah. So you think you're picking Patriots minus 13?
Yeah, big giant, freaking a gap there. So I got to go to minus 13.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Al.
Oh man, Q. I like the Jets. Getting 13 is a lot of freaking points in a division game, especially on a Thursday, especially on a short week, man.
Oh, wait, I must have said that wrong. So no, I'm taking the Jets.
Jets are 13.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, the Jets are going to cover. The Jets are going to cover. I learned my lesson from last week too. We started the week like we ended 17 points on Thursday night and 17 total points on Monday night. That's all you need to see. So who knows if that'll be too much more than 13 will be scored in that game.
Yeah.
Like I said, short week, guys are still sore. No one's feeling fresh. Everyone's a little sluggish. It's going to be a close game. I'm trying to figure out like the Jets for the 13 or just like the under 43 because I don't think a lot of points are going to go in this game. I think it's going to be like a 20 to 13 games, 20 to 14, something like that. Patriots will win convincingly, but it won't be a lot of points because guys just won't be in that mix. So give me the under. Give me the under. I just don't think a lot of points are going to be
under 43.
Under 43, yeah.
Okay.
Are we keeping tally of this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm 0-1 from last week.
It's okay.
What I do? I took 6.5. No, I'm 0-1. Actually, what was the score? No, it was
last week.
It was 7-10.
I went with the over, so I lost.
I went with the under, I believe.
I encouraged you to, and I felt bad about it.
I think you went with the over too. All right, so Al with the under
43.
Okay, let's see. So it says Patriots and their opponent have gone over 43 combined points in 8 of 10 games this season. The Jets games this season have had a combined scoring total higher than 43 points in 6 of 9 games. These two teams score 48.2 points per game combined. That's the combined. And they allow 46 points per game. So I am taking the over. And I think said he was taking the over.
Said the over to you.
Yeah. So all right, well, that's good. All right, so that is our Thursday game, Patriots versus the Jets. And I have locked in that so the team knows. All right, so Al.
What's up?
You ready?
Oh, you the credit card back on me?
My credit
the
card.
Credit card. Oh, this session will be sponsored by Queued Up with the Sports Guru.
Oh,
you
said Q.
His credit card for this week. So roll the tape, girl. Hold on. Tape.
Gang, I'll take the plug.
Oh my goodness. All right. So this is Al's Foursome, where Al takes 4 players from this past week, and he takes them to a golf course to play, schmooze, have fun. and he attempts to steal everyone's card. Okay. So let me go ahead and give Al the floor. That's the wrong floor.
That's the wrong one. You did. I
All
disagree.
right, go ahead.
Well, this week sponsored by Q Up with Quentin Carr. So everything is on his card, y'all. So
Mhm.
the round, the drinks, and the food.
Wow.
Thank you, Q. But the
This-
first invite to this week's of Al's Foursome will be an old man
Mhm.
who, believe it or not, just heard this stat about him. This game he won this past week made him 500 for his career.
Mhm.
But he's on a tear of 20 touchdowns and no picks.
Mm.
Last game was 24 for 36 with 4 tutties. The first quarterback, I think the first quarterback to throw 4 touchdowns in 4 straight games with no interceptions, man. Matthew Stafford's having a career year. The man couldn't even walk in the preseason. And all of a sudden he's having a career year this year. I mean, my choice for MVP right now, you get him for about 500 plus 500 if you put it in right now. So that's not a bad futures bet.
Mhm.
So Matt Stafford, man, I think you've been here before, but definitely, come on, man, you deserve it. You're having a hell of a season, hell of a week. We're gonna spend all the Q's money, so we're gonna do it up pretty good. Next guy, I know Q gonna have my problem paying for this guy. He's one of his guys.
Oh, really?
On A-Chain,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
22 carries, 174 yards, 2 tutties, and a huge win against Lady A's Buffalo Bills.
What? Mine?
The Lady A's,
no.
mine's and Lady A's Buffalo Bills.
That's not my team. I not no Buffalo Bills. No, don't you lie with me.
I think it's your first invite, but please, man, welcome and come on down. The
Mhm.
next guy, this hurt. This kind of sentimental for me.
Okay.
Well, it's one of my old guys,
Mhm.
and the defensive guy, but he's playing for one of the best teams in the NFL, the Seattle Seahawks. D-Law.
Mm.
With fumble recoveries and 2 touchdowns for the defense.
Mm.
You have to be invited to Al's.
Yeah.
You scored 2 defensive touchdowns.
Right.
Week. That's so get ready. You're the third in the foursome. D-Law.
Okay.
Man, good to see you, man. Hell of a game. And the last thing, I don't even think we need to even talk about the last guy. I mean, he's having an MVP candidate. RB at heart. 32 carries, 244 yards, 3 touchdowns. Do I need to say the boy's name?
Yes, you should.
Taylor.
Oh, yeah, Jonathan
Taylor.
Taylor. MVP.
MVP. I thought Saquon had a great year last year.
Yeah.
He's only coming back to have he's made potentially, I think he's going to break LT's 31 touchdowns. If you do that, that's almost the equivalent of breaking Dickinson's record of 20 or whatever, 21 and some change.
And they thought his career was over. They were so close to trading him to the
They
Dolphins
almost
last
didn't.
year.
Jim Irsay went to his grave not wanting to sign that kid a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, that's my foursome. Jonathan Taylor, Matt Stafford, Devion A-Chain, and D-Law. Man, listen, man. I'll see y'all in the T-box. Put everything on Q card, and I'll see y'all there. Then you can listen to him, queue it up, and we'll send him the T-sheets and we'll send him the bill.
You just turn the card off from your app.
I know how to do it.
Don't listen to lady. Don't listen to lady.
I know how to handle this. What's so funny about his last one, Jonathan Taylor, and it was I saw that you guys have Igbenogany returning punts for you guys. And you know the Dolphins drafted him 31st overall.
See?
When Jonathan Taylor went with the very next pick. And that kid's gone to have a better than expected career with the Cowboys and now with the Commanders.
Think about this, Q. The pick before Jonathan Taylor was Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The running back was taken before him. Think about if Kansas City would have drafted Jonathan Taylor as opposed to Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
That is right. So what Igbenogany went 30th?
Yeah, something like that. But he went in. I think Jonathan Taylor went in the second round. He was the second or third running back taken, but he went after Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who went last pick of the first round to Kansas City. Could you imagine him in that playing with Patrick?
That would have been freaking crazy.
Mm.
Now, I will say, Clyde Taylor came out of LSU, and I remember watching him.
But he was a
Play.
dream team. He was a dream team.
Mhm.
Yeah,
He
but
was-
he was
he's
so
on that-
hard, but he was so impossible to tackle
Yeah.
in that championship game.
Yeah.
He was something. I was like, man.
But
So
all Jonathan Taylor did was break every rushing record, every stage of his high school, college career.
And here we are.
right,
And
yeah,
so-
two great running backs coming out, but and no, they definitely did make the wrong decision there, and that would be crazy.
Mhm.
But you can't be that. They already got blessed with Mahomes. They didn't know at the 7th pick in the first round that Mahomes was going to be
10th pick.
what he's been. Was he? Oh, okay. Was the 10th pick? I thought he was the 7th. Wow. Okay. And that just goes to show you, it's similar to talking about the Wizards earlier. The NBA is really one of those leagues where these kids got to develop. So the fact that the Wizards have put so many young players, that Sarr kid, you have no idea what he's going to turn into.
Right.
3 or 4 years ago. I always remember Jermaine O'Neal was one of my favorites. Came out of high school, played for the Portland Trail Blazers. Couldn't get on the court. Hit his first free agent cycle. Actually, maybe his last year in Portland, he was getting about 18 to 20 minutes. It was averaging like 10 points and 8 rebounds. Got to Indiana the next year as a free agent and immediately was a 20-10 guy for the rest of his career. So,
Right.
Basketball is a great developmental sport, and it goes into account with all of these sports, man. These kids, if they put the work in, they have the opportunity to get better. So, I wish the best of luck for the DC sports in general. I know you guys finally got a World Series with the baseball team which was a long time coming.
2019. It seems like forever now. It was.
I was at many games and I went to the parade and everything. But let's thank Al. Thank you for your foursome. If you know Al, just make sure you lock your cards when he's going out to the golf course. Okay.
You definitely make sure you lock that card.
Lock your cards. Well, thank you guys for hanging in to the end with us. We know it's a little longer than normal, but thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure that you like and subscribe and put those alerts so that you can know next time we're live. Q, you got something coming up real soon, right?
Yeah, I am working on a podcast. We're going to be covering a lot of things, but we're going to be talking a lot about the San Antonio Spurs. Victor Wembanyama, I think, is going to be the next face of the league.
Okay.
And he's just been so much fun to watch. I've been putting a little project together with one of my partners in San Antonio that should be coming alive soon. The Queued Up podcast. It's going to be with JP and JG and Q. So keep an eye out for it. I'm not sure. Will I be back to wrap up the Dolphins Commanders game next week?
Probably so. I don't know.
Enjoy your win, man. Get ready to
First of all,
Get your chest up, baby.
If they win, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm just like you said with the Commanders. I'm looking at the future, and the future, the future isn't now in Miami. That's obvious. There's a rebuild that needs to be done.
So
Hopefully, Arch Manning gets his stuff together next year.
You don't want Arch Manning. You don't want Arch Manning. Trust me.
Maybe. I'm holding out hope because the bloodline's right.
Yeah, but do you want that circus with the talent? I mean, he could be the circus without the talent, man. I mean, do you want to deal with that?
He could be. That's why I said he's got to. I don't want him now. No, you're right. I want to see him develop in college for a couple of years. But
yeah.
I just think that big name, I don't want to give up on that kid yet. He's had a really rough season. And but it might have been just what he needed,
Yeah, to humble him.
Right.
Humble pie, man. Listen, it may not taste good all the time, but it normally does a lot of healing, man. So,
that last name is heavy on his back.
It is.
You can even imagine.
And I agree. And let him develop. And sometimes that L, if you take it to heart, it definitely works out in the end. But when you start your podcast, where is it going to be? You're going to have it
I have it on YouTube. I'm still working on it. I'm actually wanted to I'm going to end up picking your brain over some stuff over next few days. I'm not anywhere near as far in the program as you are. And you guys really motivated me a lot to get up off my butt and start trying to do something on a regular basis. So I made this logo over the week and was talking to some people earlier today.
You,
so I will have
you,
something
you even doing sponsorships already, man. You right on top of everything, dude.
right. Networking, man. You know, I never met a stranger. I'll tell you that.
There you go. And for those out here watching, Q is a classmate of mine. We both are obtaining the sports degrees. So definitely he's legit. He's not just doing this with
my bad. So it's my off time before basketball season. I'm on the radio up here, the Rock and Eagle 106.9 to 970 WZAM. I'm the voice of Westwood Patriots football and basketball. So, this is just my little off time that I'm trying to get into making some other content that I'll be able to hopefully keep going through the season.
Right.
Because it's pretty much a full-time gig on the radio until the contract's up in March.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So Al, anything left to go over?
No, man, we looking good. Like I said, we Cowboys are out of the bye week. Who cares? Then they put us on Monday night, which is even worse. I mean, I just can't they flex Monday night games backwards? That's what I wish for. Man.
That wouldn't be a flex.
Flex it back, you know what I'm saying? Flush it back then, whatever you want to call it. Flush it. Just get who wants to see
when we're talking about the Cowboys, I'll take it. Flush.
Who wants to see the Cowboys and the Raiders? Really?
And I guess to double down on, I will be available on Facebook, all the socials. I'll have all the information next week for you when I actually have some stuff produced. So
perfect. Yeah,
just like to know the people you didn't bring just somebody random you found on the street corner in here for the last couple of days.
Right. All right, so we are done here. Check us out on Saturday where we'll go over Saturday 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We'll go over the rest of the games for this particular week, for week 11. Thank you guys again. We covered everything, and in honor of pick United States Air Force, second to none, and in honor of said, we'll say, what's that, Al?
Go Dogs.
All right.
Roll Tide.
That's not what he says. Bye.
It's wartime, baby. This what you signed up for. This what we worked hard for. You for. Y'all the first string. Y'all got to go set the tone now. Hey, let's go. Lace them up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Let's go. Hey, let's go. Because it's time for the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. Lace them up. It's the First String Podcast Show. Hey, let's go. They spitting facts on the First String Podcast Show. Imagine talking sports, having fun with the fam. At a starting line, the first string is what you have. An entertaining stream with the Pro Bowl cash. When the viewers chime in, they gon' answer what you ask. Representing for the Queens, yeah, we got Lady A. A super knowledgeable woman who can break down any play. Said from the South, so he read GA. The Falcons, the Bulldogs, the whole Peach State. Drunk Uncle Al, only way you can describe him. Every time he crack the mic, you know he gon' be wildin'. Last but not least, it's my man Toothpick. Commanders is a squad and he the captain of the ship. So if you feel the vibe, go ahead and tune in. Like, subscribe, recommend to a friend. Nah, for real, like, subscribe.